Okay, so now we're going to try number 9. Okay, so first, ask yourself, can I split this up? Is it a single term denominator? Is it an STD and you need to split it up? And the answer, hopefully you know, is no. It is not a single term denominator. If it had been flipped, then yes, we could have split it up, STD, and then you would have just done a simple power rule. This, we're stuck, we have to do the quotient rule. So when you do the quotient rule, you may want to split up the top and the bottom and figure out your derivatives separately. Well, the derivative of this I can do on the fly very easily. So you might want to do the derivatives separately. So the derivative of the top, the derivative of the square root of x, remember that's the one I said it's really helpful if you memorize it because it shows up a lot. That's the same as finding the derivative of x to the 1/2 power. And the derivative of that is a power rule, so it's 1/2 x to the negative 1/2. Move the negative 1/2 back to the bottom and make it positive 1/2. And then again, that's the same as just the square root. So the derivative of the square root of x is 1/2 square root of x. So when you get to this part where you have to find the derivative of the square root of x, this is your answer. Okay, let's try to remember that it's that's something that shows up so often. You can try to remember that. The square root function, the square root is also in the answer. All right, so let's do the quotient rule. All right, low, x cubed plus 1. D high, the derivative of the square root of x is this guy. Now, if you remember what I said in the last problem, it'd be better if you just squish this together as one fraction right now, okay? Okay, minus high, square root of x. D low is 3x squared. Draw the line and square below. So probably you got all that just fine, but how do you simplify it? That's the problem. And how do you even recognize that you need to simplify it? Well, for this one, it's because you have a fraction within a fraction. And that happens a lot with the quotient rule. So whenever you have a fraction within a bigger fraction, you got to get rid of that inside fraction. So the issue here is this 2 root x. That's got to go. So if that's what I want to get rid of, then I'm going to multiply all 3 things by 2 root x. So to get rid of it, I'm going to multiply by 2 root x here, 2 root x here, and a 2 root x down here, whether you put it in the front or the back, okay? Now, what effect does that have? It basically allows me to now cancel the problem. This guy and this guy go away, and I'm left just with the x cubed plus 1. And since there's nothing in front of it, I don't need those parentheses. Minus, this is all multiplication, no addition in there, so there's no distributing, okay? So 3 times 2 is 6. And x to the, basically add all of the exponents. This is a 1/2 and another 1/2 and a 2. Add them all up and you get x to the 3rd. On the bottom, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave it like that, although I like putting the square root part first. And then just combine like terms and you're done. So I have 1 minus 5x cubed over 2 root x times x cubed plus 1 squared. And there you go. So for this one, if you struggled with this one, it's because what do you do when you get fractions within fractions? Okay? Get rid of the problem by multiplying by that. You're actually multiplying the top and the bottom by the same thing and distributing, but it feels like you're just multiplying by that 2 root x 3 different times. All right, hope that helps. That was number 9.